Hello, in this video, I want to go through all the cards I would include if I was going to build a You, the Moon Spirit Commander deck focused on playing big things and winning the game through emptying our library. So first up, I have Anamantu's Augury for 6, a blue and a blue, it's a sorcery. Exile the top 8 cards of your library, you put a land from among them on the battlefield, and then for each of the non-land card types among those exiled cards, you can play one of each of those types without paying their mana costs. And of course, this is the kind of spell that we want to Waterbend 5. You may cast a non-creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. These are the cards we want to cast for 5 while super convoking it out. Arcane Signet, we need a ramp in our blue deck. Blatant Thievery for 4 blue, blue, blue. It's a sorcery for each opponent gain control of target permanent that player controls. 5 mana, tap it, gain control of 3 lands. If that's the floor of this card, you're in a great spot. Caged Sun, 6 colorless for an artifact. This is a non-creature spell. Choose a color, creatures with chosen color, +1/+1. And if a land's ability causes you to produce that, it produces an extra. So choose blue. Now all your islands tap for blue, blue, which is fantastic in a deck that doesn't have access to green and needs to ramp as much as possible. Cast through time. 4 blue, blue, blue instant and sorcery spells you control have rebound. Exile the spells resolves from your hand. Beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Great card to Waterbend, and then Waterbend into the next thing. Clone Legion, 9 mana for a sorcery. For each creature target player controls, create a token that's a copy of that creature. And of course, you can just Waterbend this out. Dramatic Reversal, untap everything. Waterbending says, while paying a Waterbending cost, you can tap your artifacts and creatures to help. Each one pays for 1 colorless. Untapping all of this means you can use the Moon Spirit again and recap all of your creatures and artifacts, so you don't actually spend any mana on it. Tap your clues, tap your treasures, it really helps out. Enter the Infinite, 12 mana sorcery, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library, and put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no max in hand size until your next turn. So a card is one of those complete cards in the deck where you want to cast this and then cast Laboratory Maniac, Jace the Mind Wielder, Thassa's Oracle, and win the game that way. All cards that are in the deck. Expropriate, 9 mana for a sorcery. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Great card to Waterbend out. Follower Stone, we need a ramp when we're just playing mono blue. Frantic Search, draw 2, discard, untap up to 3 lands. So it doesn't put you behind on mana. Filters through your deck. And technically, if you Waterbend this out and tap creatures to do it, you can actually get an increase of mana for spells that you couldn't Waterbend out. Because you have 6 lands, you tap 3 of them. Waterbend this out by tapping 5 clues. Untap those 3 lands, now you have 9 mana to cast something that's not a non-creature that you can't Waterbend out. Heartstone, the cast of each creature ability requiring an activation cost reduced by 1. So now your Waterbending is 4 and not 5. High Tide makes all of your islands tap for an additional blue. Hullbreaker Horror can't be Waterbended out, but whenever you cast a spell, choose one, return target permanent you control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Imprison in the Moon, the Healing House, 3 mana, tap, untap another target permanent, tap, untap 2 other target legendary creatures. So untapping you means you can continue to Waterbend it out, and you can also untap other legendary creatures if you have some that could Waterbend. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, 1 blue, blue, blue legendary planeswalker. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. It also allows you to summon to mill 2 and you draw a card, and then draw 7. If your library has no cards in it, you win the game. But first ability, the static ability. If you would draw a card or your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Laboratory Maniac, same thing. These are our win cons if we're trying to win with Empty Infinite or any of your other card draw spells. Fantastic way. You're probably not going to win through non-combo routes because Waterbend only Waterbends into non-creatures for you, the Moon Spirit. So Lightning Greaves gives our commander haste, which means you can use the ability the same turn that she comes into play, and Shroud, which protects her. I also think that it's important to note that all of any equipment you have, Lightning Greaves, other equipment, Swiftfoot Boots, they can be tapped to pay the Waterbending cost without decreasing the value of anything in your deck. A tapped Lightning Greaves versus an untapped Lightning Greaves does none of your creatures any good. Mana Drain, Counterspell. You need to play a decent amount of counter magic because you need to protect you and protect the big spells. Mana Drain is a great one though because a counter target spell. And at the beginning of your next main phase, it adds a amount of colorless equal to that spell's mana value. And if it's 5 or more, you can Waterbend without having to tap anything you own, which is great. Mind Stone, taps for a colorless, 1 tap, sack a draw card, which you need a ramp. Mind's Dilation, love this card, 7 mana for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, that player exile the top card of the library. If it's a non-land card, you can play it without paying its mana cost. Hypnotic Deluge, 6 blue, 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 exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, copy it 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost, exile it. Great card to Waterbend into. Mox Amber, we have lots of legends, we need artifacts. Mox Opal, we have plenty of artifacts, we're gonna have clues, we're gonna have ramp. Being able to take advantage of these things and tap them, even if these don't have mana tapping abilities yet. As soon as U comes into play, you can tap them to Waterbend. 0 colorless, tap to Waterbend. Mystic Tutor, go search for any instant or sorcery card that you need to win the game with. Nexus of Fate, take an extra charm, shuffle it back into your library, gate card to Waterbend. Omen Hawker taps for 2 mana, so now Waterbending is 2 mana. Omniscience, just dump your whole hand into play after Waterbending it out. 1 with the Multiverse, 6 blue, blue enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without enhanced mana cost. Ornithopter is a 0 colorless creature you can just put into play and Waterbend tap to, even if it doesn't have haste or summoning sickness, it doesn't matter. Ornithopter of Paradise adds mana of colors, adds 1 mana of any color, and can just be tapped. Overflowing Insight, Waterbend it out for 5, you draw 7 cards. If like say Metamorph can become a copy of something. I don't know what I was hoping to copy with this, to be honest, but just copying things is good. Pognify, destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. You're playing mono blue. You need to play destroy effects. Portal to Phyrexia enters. Each opponent sacks 3 creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian, instant shows other types. Rhystic Study, every blue deck. Rise of the Eldrazi is 12 mana. This spell can't be countered. Destroy target permanent. Target player draws 4 cards. Take an extra turn after this one. I am using my Velby deck, and it is insane. This card is going to be great to Waterbend out, I am sure. Sai, Master Thoptis. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, make a 1/1, and those 1/1s can be tapped to Waterbend. Sapphire Medallion. Most of your spells are blue. Some will be colorless, but the majority of them are blue. So making them 1 less to cast is great. Seagate Restoration. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no max hand size for the rest of the game, or it's just a land that can be bolted into play. Sensei's Divining Top is an artifact that you can tap to Waterbend or tap to manipulate top card of your library so you can get to the cards you need. Shark Typhoon, you can Waterbend this out as a reduction of the cost by 1 or just give it like super convoke basically. Make sharks, which can be your blockers, can be your attackers if you're trying to win that way. You can also cycle it away to make a one-time thing. Soul Ring, mono blue. Solemn Simulacrum, good card because it gets you lands, ramps you in blue, and then you can just Waterbend, tap it. Cellskite protects our commander, which is important. Swiftfoot Boots, Hexproof and Haste, which I've already listed is important. Plus, you could tap these Swiftfoot Boots to Waterbend without losing anything in your deck. Thassa's Oracle, blue, blue, same thing. Devotion Eagle to blue, look at the top cards of your library. Your goal is to shrink your library down by drawing a ton of cards, and the end stone helps with that, 7 colorless. Legendary Artifact, when you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes half your starting life total, round it up. That's a good card to cheat out. The Magic Mirror, 6 blue, 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 legendary artifact. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant or sorcery card in the graveyard. You have no max hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a knowledge counter on it, then draw a card for each knowledge counter on it. I also think I just want to say 2 things here. A, you should probably play more counter magic than I am listing here. This is not a complete deck list. It's just cards that I would include if I was going to build one. I also want to say of the End Stone and the Magic Mirror, these are spells that are permanents, so you can Waterbend with them. They are both artifacts. You can tap creatures and artifacts to help pay the cost of your Waterbending spells. And a tapped Magic Mirror or a tapped The End Stone does your table just as much good / damage as an untapped one, so do not be afraid to tap them. The Mechanist, Aerial Artisan, 2 and a blue for a 1/3. When you cast a non-creature spell, make a clue, and you can make clues into flyers, but making clues, you can Waterbend off your clues. That's why I like it. Thought Vessel, no max hand size, ramp in a blue deck. You can activate abilities like creature control, so creature haste. Now you can use USS for haste, and you can untap her. Time Stretch, take 2 extra turns. Training Grounds, reduce Waterbend by 2, making it Waterbend 3. Unstoppable Plant, at the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. Now you can Waterbend again. Unwinding Clock, untaps all your artifacts. You have plenty of artifacts to keep tacking. Academy Ruins, you're in an artifact deck, putting them back at the top of your library so you can draw them again, recast your End Stone, recast a ton of good stuff. Minamo, School at Water's Edge, untaps target legendary permanent. Seems pretty good. Mystic Sanctuary, we have plenty of instants and sorceries, and we're going to have tons of islands. Nyxos, Shrine of Nyx, a lot of our spells were like blue, blue, blue 7, blue, blue, blue 6. If they're permanents, they can stay in play and generate us extra mana. Otawara, we're playing almost all islands in this deck, so being able to have one channel land is nice. Reliquary Tower, we're mono-colored, so playing a colorless land won't hurt us too much. No max hand size is good with all of our card draw. And Urza Saga, is a good card, but at the very end, it can go get Mox Amber, it can go get Mox Opal, or any of your other 0 mana stuff, or just Soul Ring if you don't have those 2 other cards in your deck. These are all the cards that I would include if I was going to build a You the Moon Spirit Commander deck. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech. Please let me know your thoughts on it, and if you're going to build this commander, in the comments below. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and may your top decks be ever in your favor. Thank you.